Take my pain away. Take my pain. Take my pain. So take my pain. Yeah. Fear. My man. My pain. Take my pain. So take my pain. So take my pain. Shibiri. I cry. Mommy. So take my pain. So take my pain. So take my pain. So take my pain now. Take my pain. Take my pain. Yes, welcome people. How are you doing? Karibuni sana to another episode of the African Diary Show. I hope you had an amazing weekend. I hope your Monday is finding you at great health and peace, and also your week has just started in a positive foot or with a positive foot. Karibuni sana once again. My name is Katie, and this is the African Diary Show. In case you're there joining us for the first time on the African Diary Show, this is where we get to discuss everything that is happening on the beautiful continent of Africa, everything concerning the Black people in the continent of Africa, or rather the African people at large. Karibuni sana once again. Get to interact with me, and do remember, we are live and interactive on our media handles. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, everywhere at Black Hot Fan Network. Just get to interact with us and do let us know how is your day coming along. How are you starting this week? And also, how was your weekend? What did you get to do during this weekend? But Remember, you can get to interact with me as well on the chat room. To all those who are joining me, to all those who are listening to me via the radio station, also karibuni sana. Remember, you can as well interact with me and let me know how you're feeling today on the show page, on the live stream. It is okay where you feel like is the most easiest place for you to chat. Just do it. But anyway, karibuni sana. On today's episode, we shall be discussing about the black man, or rather the African man. So there's this page I've come across, or rather this channel I've come across on YouTube, and it is talking facts about the black man, and this is the history we have been hidden from for quite some long time. It is right now, or it is until now you start finding the history, because this history is supposed to be taught in schools, but it is now up to you. You go find the history so that you can know the history. So I'd love to share some videos with you on today's episode, and it is concerning our today's show, and also today's topic of the day, because the topic of the day is why black men are reviewed as a threat all over. And when I say all over, it is not only in the European countries. It is also in our own our countries. And today I was saying in the morning, and I was telling Shmani, black people, or rather, are the human beings the most endangered creatures right now. And I feel like yes, we are the most endangered creatures right now. But anyway, today we're going to focus on why black men are viewed as a threat all over. And when I talk about black men being viewed as a threat all over, you know what I mean. We've seen agendas of killing the black people. We've seen so many things against now the lives of the black people. So this is what we're going to talk about today. And in case you have anything else to add on top of that, please make sure you keep it coming. In case you have something else to ask, or rather to share with us, please make sure you keep it coming. But for now, we're going back to the music. We will be back with a quote of the day. And today mine is not a quote, it is actually an African proverb. In case you also have a proverb you'd love to share with us, please make sure you keep it coming. And also, please make sure if you have even any wise words, please make sure you share with us. I always keep telling you, it is generous for you to be sharing some wise words with even the elder, the young. It is very, very good. But anyway, this is Banner Boy. The jam is Kilometer. I hope you do get to jam onto it. But remember, we're coming back here with the quote of the day.
I don't want that many kilometers. Learn from the teacher. I don't take for the games in the pitas. I just like bad mind from a distance. But this week I be out of my pitas. Never go me shot. Should you become fiber for your speaker? This time I call traffic for my sisters. Should we blow your mind like a mister? Kilometers. I don't come kilometers. I don't want that many kilometers. Learn from the teacher. I don't take for the game, she love pitas. I just like bad mind from a distance. But this week I be all on my pitas. When you come make I give you bitches juice. Until last time somebody did it like this. No much as I'm a bum back like Chris. That's why everybody has to know me like Chris. Kilometers. I don't come kilometers. I don't want that many kilometers. People take a picture and it just come. Like I just got rich, like my money just come. Send them back from where they come from. But talking like the product of it on condoms. Outside no come from, me love care, my brother. One set, sit down for one chair, my brother. One track, we will make it disappear, my brother. It takes to reach here, my brother.
My quote of the day, or rather my proverb of the day, says that you cannot climb the ladder of success with your hands in pocket. You cannot climb the ladder of success with your hands in with your hands in your pocket. And this is very true. It simply means that you have to work hard in order to be successful in life. And it is a fact. You cannot climb a ladder with your hands in your pocket. For real, you'll fall down. So you have to work hard for success. If you want success, you have to work hard. This is what this proverb means.
From the teacher, I don't take for the game, she no pictures. I taste like Batman from a distance. But this week I be no more pictures.
But welcome back, my people. I hope you're enjoying the show so far. It is only 10 minutes since we started, but we have not gotten to our discussion today, and this is what I want us to do right now. So I was talking about why black men are viewed as a threat all over, and we've been having this debate for quite some long time. We have teachings, or rather we've had kids teaching us about how strong the black man is, how the black woman is the creator of everything. And we've had so many teachings, by the way, from kids about the black man and how or why the black man is very strong and the black man is the creator of everything. But there's this channel I'm telling you about, and they are talking some words of wisdom, and also some words I'd love to share with you. And this is why, or we have untold history, or this is why we have so many African people who don't know their history, because this is some untold history. This is something that was never passed to us. We found now the times when we had the colonizers who came to Africa, stole the history, overturned the history, and they gave us now what they wanted us to know. They never wanted us to know how superior we are. And for a fact, I've come to realize this. Even if you go anywhere in the European countries, even if it is some meeting, you'll always find a black man in those meetings. So why is this? Because a black man is very superior. But anyway, let's get to watch this video and elaborate about it, and also talk more about the black man and why we are viewed as a threat on the globe.
Suppression and prejudice against black Africans. And even that pattern lingers to this day.
Let me start.
What's the made-up hostility the white European and Arabs felt toward black?
I don't know why it doesn't want to start. Okay, here it is. Let me share it with you.
Why do we see a pattern of discrimination, suppression, and prejudice against black Africans? And even that pattern lingers to this day. What's the made-up hostility the white European and Arabs felt toward black Africans? Historically speaking,
good morning to you too, Samuel. Karibu sana.
It was due to the superiority the black Africans have had since the start of civilization. Black Africans.
And this is the superiority we were never taught about. This is the superiority we were never talked about, because they feared that now, if we know we are superior, we would overturn everything. Just like they overturned our history, we would overturn everything against them. And this is why they had to change and turn our history and now make us look like we are very bad. We are like, black people do not deserve to live. Our skin color is bad. Our race is not the best race, But anyway, let's get to continue.
Africans were the richest of the rich, living in gold cities and making the world jealous.
Okay, let's talk about the reality right now. Who are living in poverty? It is the black people. Why is this? Because they came and stole our history. They came and stole our wealth because they wanted to be like us. And this is now why we even find that there are places where we have the Chinese who want to give birth with the black women. We have the Europeans who want to marry black women because they want to be included in our race. They want to have it is like the black genes because they know they are the best genes to have. But let's continue.
Where non-black people, with an inferiority complex, decided to portray black Africans as inferior. But how? Well, it was done by using their dark complexion, plump lips, and woolly hair. Yes, they felt a threat so striking that they declared black Africans a backward, inferior race. All their struggle was to show how uncivilized black Africans were so they could teach them how civilized people like them live. That's where the
Now they made us hate ourselves and made us think that now we don't deserve to look like this. Like real people should not be looking like us. Being black is not something to be proud of. Being black, it's not something that is very good. So you need to look like us. You need to be civilized like us. You need to be. Now we have to sell the westernization to you and you have to buy it because you have to look like the Western people. You have to look like the Mzungu. You have to adopt ways of the Mzungu. You have to start dressing like the Mzungu. If it is your hairstyle, you have to look like the Mzungu because now they wanted us to look like them. Like they wanted us now to stop looking like real African people and start looking like them.
The wicked journey against black Africans started. Today, even if everyone stays silent, history speaks too loud to be avoided. But the real focus should be this question. Why do non-blacks see black Africans as a threat? And why does this same feeling prevail even today? Welcome to a new episode of Black Culture Diary, a channel where we talk about the people that are evidently ancestors of and superior to everyone, the black. We scrutinize history here to bring the black culture back on the surface again. In this episode, we will debunk why black Africans were historically viewed as a threat. Let's get started. The first reason why non-black felt threatened was black Africans' physical superiority. Historically, and even today, black people are the strongest humans on earth. And this strength manifests itself in their physical charisma, which is hidden from nobody. Non-blacks knew if blacks were allowed to participate in their matters, they would eventually dominate what they held dear. Therefore,
exactly, they are afraid of us, and this is why now they made sure that they dominate our minds. Make sure that now we don't believe in ourselves. We don't have confidence in ourselves. We don't have that confidence of being proud of our skin color. They made sure that now we have African people bleaching their skin because they have dominated our minds and told us, no, being black, by the way, it's like a curse. You don't deserve to look black. Being black is the worst thing to be.
or blacks were left in the whirlpool of a new fabricated system. Non-blacks, like the European colonizer, made it a social culture to enslave blacks. Since they couldn't compete with blacks in terms of strength, doing physical work was deemed inferior. Instead, someone who could do sophisticated jobs was considered civilized, and these civilized were then seen fit to be kings and rulers. Simply, blacks were pulled out of the power equation. You see, non-black changed the system which graded people. Physical superiority was deemed inferior as compared to being delicate and fragile, which was considered superior. Since European colonizers were weak and delicate themselves, they propagated this as a sign of delicacy. In the writing of Greek philosophers like Aristotle, it could be seen that he considered slaves as people born to be subjected. And don't forget, most enslaved people were black in those days. Aristotle said that these slaves should work for their Greek masters so the masters could have leisure. Without any hesitation, black people were considered lesser. Even different and brutal punishments were made for black slaves because it was considered that enslaved people were less sensitive to pain. This takes us to the second reason for the threat, which is genetic annihilation. You see, since black were enslaved, they were ripped off all of their basic rights. However, the brutal masters still felt threatened for obvious reasons of black supremacy. Black people were undoubtedly stronger, more charismatic, and bolder than the non-black masters. Hence, the threat of getting genetic annihilation existed. In other words, white Europeans and non-blacks knew that if they married black, their genes would become submissive
What did I say again? They wanted to marry the black woman so that now they can have our genes.
and eventually extinct. Biologically, those genes with more chances of survival dominate during fusion and manifestation. Mating results in the fusion of genes that came from the male and female, and the child and its appearance is the manifestation of the dominant genes. In this case, no matter who married a black man, either a white or Arab woman, the genes of that black man would dominate. In other words, it will be the annihilation of non-blacks' genes. Honestly, this was a massive threat, which cannot be emphasized enough. That's why black slaves were prohibited from marrying any non-black people. They knew the natural law of the survival of the fittest, which makes blacks superior to all. The non-blacks were so terrified of blacks that they followed the black blood drop strategy. Anyone with even one drop of black blood was considered inferior, taken away from normal people and put in the same class as other black people. But evidence exists that this wasn't the case in Latin America, where the Spanish and Portuguese empires existed. Spanish and Portuguese people would marry their slaves and have children, which could enjoy all the rights. Even Arabs would marry their black slaves and have children, which would introduce themselves as Arabs, following Arab culture and customs. Before we continue further,
This is how we ended up having now people who call themselves black Arabs. You have people who call themselves black Indians because these people they married actually the African woman by force so that they can have now black children. They wanted the genes so bad. But anyway, let's continue with our video for today. Someone, I see you saying you're sick. I'm sorry. Hope you get well soon.
Plus, are you loving the video? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on black culture, history, civilization, and their natural superiority. Let's continue now. The third reason for the threat was black being the first ever human civilization. History and fossil records make it clear that the first humans emerged in Africa. No disparity exists on the point that it was Africa where the first humans started living. With time, they developed cognitive skills until reaching the point of building the first human civilization. It's just an unbelievable and rather unorthodox concept that black Africans existed and prospered when no other race was even born. Centuries of time encouraged...
As kid keeps on telling us that black people were the first people to exist.
Some black Africans to migrate and come to Asia and Europe. Today, the people living in Asia, Europe, and all other parts of the world are actually predecessors of black Africans. And that's where non-black feel resented. They don't want to accept that they are predecessors of the same race they have been calling inferior for centuries. But honestly, it doesn't matter whether they accept it or not. Getting a DNA test would clear this all up. Already, this has been manifested. Genetic testing has shown that European people have 4% to 20% of their genes, similar to Northwest African ancestral groups. No matter which human you pick, they would have traces of African genes in them, manifesting that blacks are the actual ancestors of everyone. But non-blacks don't want that to happen. If it does, it will make Europeans similar to the black Africans of today, breaking their illusion. Not only that, but this proves that Africa is actually the center of the world, not Europe or West, and that they hold all the power. Within a blink of an eye, black Africans will be added to the power equation, threatening non-blacks. The fourth striking reason for feeling a threat is due to Africa being the most resourceful continent on the planet.
Exactly. We keep on talking about this, and this is why now they want to wipe the black people and also to make sure that Africa is impoverished so that it's like they want us to never discover what we worth. But we know we are worth a lot, or we know our worth. But now what we don't do is utilize the resources we have. We let them take advantage of us while we know we're the most superior creature on this world.
Natural resources like oil, gas, gold, silver, diamond, and other precious metals are overflowing in Africa. Mountains exist with gold under a few layers, which Africans often get their hands on, and non-blacks can't digest that. How can they fathom Africans having all the wealth? They cannot forget the phenomenal records of Africa's wealth in Arabic writing. In the writings of Arabs like Al-Fazari, it becomes evident how wealthy and prosperous Africa was centuries ago when the rest of the world didn't know what wealth was. Al-Fazari called Ghana the city of gold, and the king of Ghana the wealthiest sovereign alive. Knowing this, non-black cannot allow Africans of today to have all the resources. Hence, using the same stereotyping, Africans are shown as people with less cognitive power to decide about themselves. That's why European colonizers like France, Spain, Italy, and Britain colonized Africa and exploited its natural resources. Even today, France holds 50% of the African nation's gold in its vaults. Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni revealed this in an interview. She said that in return for gold, France prints money for African nations, which are just pieces of paper worth nothing. Did you know these threats make
pieces of paper worth nothing? France prints us money. Pieces of paper worth nothing. And we talked about this when we were talking about the gold mafia. We talked about these people giving us invoices which are fake, but we never realized this. Imagine, this is now the Italy's vice president talking about this, and she tells you very well, yes, we print them money, just papers worth nothing.
Non-blacks like white Europe and Asians hostile to black Africans? Do you feel that even after centuries, nothing has changed, and non-blacks still subconsciously feel threatened? Tell us in the comment section right below. Haven't you ever wondered why you see one black person in every team, committee, talk show, and film? Why is that so? Let us give you a hint. It shows that everything is normal and black are getting their rights, but the reality is otherwise. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes,
that is the video. That is the first video I wanted to share with you. And for a fact, this video is talking about so many great things about the African people or the black people. But we black people, we don't realize this. But why don't we realize this? It's because we have some untold history, some history that is hidden from us. And this is why we've never even gotten to a place that we're discovering this. Oh, I'm this superior. Oh, I'm this powerful. Oh, I can do this. So you mean the Europeans are not powerful like I am? No, we have never been taught this. We have never been told this. And this is now the African history that needs to get in the books, that needs to be taught in schools, because the history we're being taught in school, the history that is being taught in school is how agriculture started in Mesopotamia, of which is a very, very, very big lie, a very big lie, because we know agriculture never started in Mesopotamia, and Mesopotamia is not even actually the Mesopotamia they call Mesopotamia, you know. And when you talk about geographical existence of these countries, they call we have Jamaica, we have which one is this other one? We have so many of them. When now you get to look at them, these countries were all African countries, and this is why we had so many African people on those lands. But now when you're being taught about the same history, everything is reverse of what you know. Everything is reverse of now the truth. And now, as the black people, to all those now who know the real history of the black people, it is our work to be teaching now the people who are behind us, the younger generation that is coming now after us, because I wouldn't be knowing the truth, and I keep on waiting for the children who are coming after me to be taught the lie. I must pass the truth to the children who come after me, because at the end of the day, I know the history, and it is my work as their elder to make sure now they understand where they came from, to make sure they understand how they are powerful, how this European changed their history and made sure that they look like they are the weakest people on the globe. Karibu sana, kid.
Asante sana there, Katie. How you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
What's up with your voice?
I'm waking up. Shit is early. Shit, that's what my voice. Even when they talk about Mesopotamia, that was African. Was not what they wasn't. It wasn't the people there today. That was Africa. Those are all ancient African civilizations that they hate, and they damn sure don't tell you in Africa. And you're right. They came and stole your history. They have you worship them, told lies, didn't know you were wealthiest continent, told all
Mm-hmm.
kind of lies and about yourself. They took away. Dr. John Henry Clark said they took away your confidence. Like Beecher told you were nothing. You let these people think because you're loving. Then they knocked you in your head, stole everything. When they took the baby, they got you because they were brutal. You're not brutal people. And then they took your baby, started telling lies. You people weren't shit. You fucked up. We're white people. We're the greatest. Blah, blah, blah. And so that lies been going on for the last 200 years amongst African people. And then what Joby was saying as well, you're scared of everything. You've been given a culture of fear and ignorance. And you guys knowing so much, you're like, huh? You're not scared? I didn't know people were telling you guys in the studio that. That's the problem when Joby said that. You guys not scared to talk the way you talk? Are you not scared?
Yeah, so many people ask us that question all the time, and I keep on telling them when they start looking for us, we're not in Kenya. Me, I don't even live in Kenya.
We go, okay, let me do your video.
Yes, okay. This is now another different video. It is talking about the hidden truths or the untold history about African people, or rather about Africa. So let's get to watch it as we continue with our show for today.
How were Black Africans brought to the United States of America, which was earlier disintegrated among European colonies? How were the Blacks treated when they started living in America? And what inhumane behavior did they face? When did all that start? And how have Black Africans changed from viable commodities to real human beings they really are? In Africa, they had families to protect and a life to live. But in America, they had to witness the worst of all. So, how have the living conditions of African men, pregnant women and girls and children changed throughout history? They were enslaved, but with time, things changed. Laws abolishing slavery appeared, but domestic slavery continued. Even Black girls were forced to give birth at 13 to have more Blacks who could be used as slaves.
Slaves.
But what are the events, laws, movements, and
Sorry, kid.
You're saying what they're saying is correct. They were raped. You're talking about how Black children were raped to have babies to be slaves. And also to make sure they had fear in you and the Africans in America that were taken out of Africa. What they would do, they would take a pregnant woman, baby, and they would cut her stomach open and let the baby fall on the ground, and they would stomp on their head in front of all the slaves to put that fear, because that fear goes in. It's called epigen. It goes to your genetics to pass on to the baby. So they would take a Black woman, put her in front of all the slaves, and they would cut her belly open and let the baby fall out. And they would stomp the baby's head. These white people would stomp the baby's head, kill it, stomp it to death in front of all the Blacks. So they'd be traumatized. So they'd be traumatized. They cut the baby up and stomp the goddamn head. Then they'll take the strongest Black man, they tie him between two horses, have the horses run in different ways and pull him apart. They would just rip his whole body apart. And sit in front of all the slaves that were traumatized. And so they'd be traumatized and do fear to the next generation. Be afraid of white people. You don't ever do nothing against these white people. We talk trauma.
Crazy. Jiba Jaba Karibu Sana, you're saying hi, Katie. Hi, kid. Broadcasting from undisclosed location. Exactly. Yes, from undisclosed location. But I see General Mosquito, you're saying Amani to you too, General Mosquito. Yes, let's continue with this video.
sacrifices that created the course of African Americans' history? Welcome to a new episode of Black Culture Diary, a channel where we talk about less known and hidden Black history, culture, arts, and lost civilization. We scrutinize history here to bring the Black culture back on the surface again. In this episode, we will explain the history of African Americans, from how they first reached America to how they got rights at the end. Let's get started.
There was this video I was watching early today in the morning. It was about African people, like people who live on the African continent. This is about now the Black people living in Africa. and also we have the African American. And the question was, did now slavery affect you and your families wherever you are? And so many people in the like the African American say that yes, we were affected. Some like we were affected because we saw our parents had to work hard, had to work for the Europeans. They had to suffer a lot. They had to be like they are licking these people feet for
Yeah.
just us to go to school, for us to learn, and for us to eat. And the same thing also happened in Africa, because
Yes.
slavery also
Colonialism. Yeah.
affected us so much, because
Of course.
we had like like children of the freedom fighters. They can talk about this and say we were affected by slavery. We used to see our parents going to work on those farms, on the now the
Right.
Mzungu's farms, and
Mhm.
we saw like we as the children also used to go to those farms, because we saw on these videos, we have seen videos where we have children, African children, being also forced to
To
work
work.
on those farms.
Right.
Yeah, so I think the difference, everybody, like,
And and it,
we
and in
eat
and in your
us.
and in your books, you taught the European is so good, came to help you, and he's your Jesus. It's crazy. Go ahead, Katie.
What I'm saying is, be it you are in Africa, or be it you're raised as African American, you are also affected by slavery if you found it there. Because there is no way you would not be affected. Seeing your mom working, licking these people, and you have to like they have to collaborate, and they have to work very well, because at the end of the day you need to go to school, you need to eat, and they have to suffer for you to eat. They
Yeah.
have to work for them, and the same thing happened in Africa. But anyway, let's continue with our video today. I'll get to share that video maybe tomorrow.
The history of African Americans started in 1619, when for the first time, 20 black Africans were brought on a ship to the English-controlled colony of Virginia.
Yeah.
At that time, the United States of America didn't exist. The British, Spanish, and other European empires controlled this territory. The enslaved Africans were initially bound to work for a fixed term as contracted servants, but their population grew over time. By 1760, there were about 760,179 African Americans in the United States, and the majority were either directly imported from Africa or were the children of slave mothers.
Brave mothers.
Sadly, a major blow for black Africans came when slavery was legalized in Virginia in 1661 and all English colonies by 1750, with Africans being considered inferior. Now Africans were slaves and inferior by law, having no rights like their masters. That's when the European traders started selling Africans as slaves on ships to different parts of the world. During the journey, many slaves would die due to sickness, shock, and suicide. African Americans were forced to work on plantations in the southern United States,
Colombia,
mainly in tobacco, rice, and indigo
Brazil,
fields.
Jamaica. So when you say the person in Jamaica, no, he's African. He sent to Jamaica, sent on a ship. He was sent to Jamaica, Barbados, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobago, Guyana, Colombia, Brazil, Panama, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Cuba, America, and Canada, and Mexico. That's why we're there. We didn't decide to just go jump on the ship and say, hey, I'm going on the ship, Katie.
Mhm. But I see Jerome was good to you're saying science, trauma, and repetition. Very true. Jiba Jaba, you're saying my grandma had to pick cotton for 5 years old. She would ride her mama's cotton sack and pick alongside.
Imagine being 5 years old, Jibba Jabba, your grandmother, and the thorns, picking cotton, the thorns all in your grandma's hands. It's a 5-year-old child. Her hands were so bloody and torn up. Because we know what picking cotton does to the hands is thorns. It's thistles and thorns. Imagine a 5-year-old child with hands all bloody. And you know they didn't pay them shit because they were really forced labor. And they would make these crackers wealthy. Man, it's crazy. Go ahead.
Jiba Jaba is also saying grandpa picked a tobacco as a small child in
Georgia.
GA. What is GA?
It's back. Yeah, it's Georgia.
Or
Georgia.
Georgia?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's abbreviation for Georgia. Yeah, tobacco's bad too, but it ain't that cotton, goddamn, that's cutting your hand all to shreds and bleeding as a 5-year-old child. Shit.
The same was happening in Africa. You would find now where we have parents, or we have like people the age of my parents, or rather the age of my, let's
Grandpa.
say, yes, grandfather.
Yeah,
They will tell you that they had to go and work for them with their children,
of course.
so that they can eat. But now when my father was being raised, their family was better off. Their grandfather was working for Mzungu, of which they had like them. He was working as a driver, a truck driver for Mzungu's shoe company. So even my father was lucky to wear shoes in school, and they were being called teachers the children, because they were the only children wearing shoes. You can imagine, the only children in the whole school wearing shoes. It is
Right?
crazy. And those were the conditions African people grew up in. I don't know if in the states you also didn't wear shoes.
Yes. So at a period of time, slave didn't have no shoes, Katie. Slave didn't have good clothes. So
But I see Daddy Harrison, you're saying, oh, my grandmother picked cotton in the Mississippi Delta too. Her hands were hard as hell. Her damn hands felt like stone shit. I say, by the way, good morning, family. Good morning to you too, Danny Harrison. Jiba Jaba is saying, yep, correct. Penny a pound sack holds a 50 elves, which this was in the 20s to mid 30s. And it is crazy. I see the same thing your parents and your grandparents had to go through. It's the same thing that African now our great grands, I had to go through the same, because I used to hear even my grandmother talking about how their dads used to work hard. Their dads had to carry them even to the Mzungu's farm, so that they can make sure that they earn something they could eat with the whole family. And back in the days, people were giving birth a lot. They used to have a family like of 15. I have families who come from my area who are like, this family has 15 children. Imagine. And imagine at that time, now you have to make sure that you carry all your 15 children to the Mzungu's farm, so
wow.
that you make sure
Yeah.
that you
The
earn
Mzungu
something.
farm that he stole
Out.
from African people. The Mzungu farm, and they got the farms. They came to help you, but they got all the land. In Kenya, South Africa, Ghana, Nigeria. They came to help you out of your goddamn land. So it's funny. That's how, and Joby's right. You can't be scared. You got to start thinking, how's the hell them Zungu got all the land? You working for them, and you in Africa. And they came to help you. They came to steal your shit, help you out your land. Is your mind that gone? You can't understand your books are lying to you. How they come to help you? Now you working for them in your country, in your land, I'm working for this cracker shit. And they forced you in Kenya, like with cases, forced your ass to work there and pay taxes to these people. But they came to help you. You know how crazy that sounds?
And it is crazy. They came to help us, found us living in our own houses, and they forced us to pay hard taxes in
Yeah,
our own houses. Imagine, you're not renting a house, but you have to pay hard tax.
yeah.
Um,
But they came to help. That's in all these Scooby books from Ghana to Kenya to Nigeria. I used to read these Scooby when I first got to Africa. I said, why has this education not been torn down? Why these despots not got rid of this shit? That's what used to blow. I said, this is absolutely crazy that these kids are learning all these lies. You can see the contradictions when you're in Ghana and goddamn Kenya, that the cracker owns everything. How they come to help you? They own all your shit. But it's crazy.
It is crazy. But I see General Scooter, you're saying 15 children. Damn, I thought Big Lou and Mr. X had a lot of children.
Yeah, big, yeah. I think let me see. I think Big Lou's got like what 6, 7. I think Mr. X got about 6 or 7. I ain't seen Mr. X in a minute. I think he got about 6 or 7 kids. Still no Big Lou, old co-host. I think he got, because he had another baby. I think he got like 6 or 7 his damn self. Shout out to you, Lou, over in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm. General Danny Harrison, you're saying, is that a picture in Africa? It looked like antebellum South.
Yes,
I don't know where.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's the antebellum South. Dan, it's not Africa right there. But you can find that same picture right there in Kenya. You can find that same picture in Kenya, that same picture in Ghana, same picture in Nigeria. This picture, I can show you the same thing with African people working all hard and fucked up, but it's white people. And it just looked, but this antebellum South right here, that's that. But I can take you to Africa, show you the same, almost identical shit. It's crazy. But these moronic Negroes, why don't you like the Mzungu? They were just our friends. What? Okay. Go ahead, Katie.
Hence, slavery eventually became rooted in the South's cotton and sugar plantations. There was hope in the hopelessness when Thomas Jefferson passed a law to end the slave trade in 1807. However, this only led to an increase in the domestic slave trade.
Right.
Black girls were forced to give birth to children at 13 and give birth more often. Since Africans could not be captured from Africa, Europeans devised this method to have more slaves.
A British farm.
In the mid-1800s, movements to end slavery emerged in Britain and the United States. Free African Americans in the North began holding conventions, but they had different opinions on how to deal with slavery and discrimination. Some encouraged slaves to revolt, while others thought they should establish a modern black country in Africa. African Americans founded Liberia in West Africa, foreshadowing the development of Pan-African nationalism. Then began the American Civil War in 1861. Before we continue further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on black culture.
Because they were mad because the African Americans that came back, the Africans said they treated them like shit. They were more an advanced African and they didn't like them. So that was a civil war. Remember, Liberia had a civil war because they said these niggas coming back were too advanced and they were building shit. The other Africans didn't like it. so you had a civil war in Liberia of the returning Africans from, and those are Africans that came back before they colonized Africa. They went back to Africa back in 1820, I think, 1820 or something like that. That's before they colonized the rest of Africa. So those African Americans came back to Liberia in 1820. But the white people stopped and said, this shit too expensive. We ain't got time to be shipping these niggas back to Africa. We're going broke doing that. Damn that. We got a few niggas over there, let them stay. But all these other niggas in America, now we need labor. They're going to make laws to just re-enslave their ass under a different name. And that's what they did. Jim Crow laws, the black codes, and the prison. We'll just call it something else. We'll still enslave these niggas. We'll just say it's the prison. Oh, you committed a crime. What'd I do? You were standing while black. You're black. You're loitering. Time to go to jail, nigga. They put you in jail for doing nothing, but just standing around. You don't got to. These are facts. It's how wicked this European is because they still need your labor. Okay, we're not calling it slavery. You walking down the street, going to your friend's house. Say, hey, nigga, what you doing? I'm going to my friend's house. You got a job? No, I don't need a job. I'm just going to my friend. Well, you're going to prison. You're loitering. You're loitering, nigga. Jail for you. And they would do this slave labor. You know, they would have the prisoners do all the labor that the slaves did. That's how wicked this no good beast is. He's a beast. Go ahead, Caleb.
Culture, history, civilization, and natural superiority. Let's continue now. Initially, the Missouri Compromise of 1820 stated that there had to be an equal number of slave and free states. Still, this agreement was violated. resulting in slavery in all American territories. The election of Abraham Lincoln as President of the United States in 1860 on an anti-slavery platform led to the Civil War. Though Lincoln initially aimed to gradually emancipate slaves with compensation for slaveholders, in September of 1862, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation,
Remember, they always play the
declaring
slave
all
owners,
slaves
not
free.
the slave, not our reparations for being a slave. They play the white man for, hey, we're going to get rid of your slave. And don't think Abraham Lincoln, this ain't got nothing to do with no damn. Abraham Lincoln never freed no slave, and this brother don't know what the fuck he talking about. They couldn't keep us enslaved. That's what you need to know, the real history. This shit he talking about is whitewash bullshit. In America, you had wars of black people. They couldn't keep us enslaved. We start fighting this no good cracker. So this lie, this history he telling is a lie. White people were getting their ass fucked up by black people. We had revolts all throughout the country. And so they start killing white people. Oh my God, these niggas are on the loose. They're killing us. We had them going in their house and murdering their ass. So that's what was going on. So they said, hey man, we gotta let these black people go. Because we've got devised a new way because you had open wars called the Geechee Gullah Wars and the Seminole Wars all throughout the damn South. They were fighting these Europeans. They couldn't enslave. So it wasn't the fact they talk about, he signed some Emancipation Proclamation, you were free. You out of your fucking mind. They never let no black people go free. Black people fought in this country, and the white man said, oh, we got to leave these niggas alone. Hey, it's too much. It's not worth enslaving them. Because now they're fighting us and they're killing us. They're killing our babies. They're killing our women. That's what got you free. Not some goddamn. And the funny part about it, Lincoln is a half nigger himself. That's why the damn coin of his is brown. He's the only one got a brown coin in America. Everybody knew he had African roots. Even he did was no good. See, these mulattoes, these damn mulattoes, I can't stand these fucking mulattoes. That's all Lincoln was a goddamn mulatto. Can't stand these goddamn mulattoes. So he told you he wanted white people to be on top. Don't talk about he was like, I just feel bad for the African. No, he didn't. He told you white people are better. They supposed to be on top and fuck you niggas. That's what Lincoln said. So let's get to the true shit, not all this whitewashing shit talking about Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. Lincoln told you exactly right. Lincoln told you white people are better. They're supposed to be on top. And if I had the money, I'd send you all you niggas. I sent all you niggas back to Africa. That was Lincoln, not some right rosy shit. He talking. Lincoln said, oh, I'm trying to free you slave. That's the fake history we always get with Lincoln. Lincoln was such a good man and tried to free the slave. Lincoln couldn't stand our ass. And the only reason he did, he was forced to do it because he had black people fighting all throughout this country, burning down these plantations, killing these crackers in their bed. That's what was going on. When some white man got a conscience, you know, I think I need to let these niggas go. This slavery thing we've been doing for 300 years, this 40 years is really bad. It's not good. And this motherfucker was a mulatto. That's why he don't look like the regular cracker. And the white people knew he's a mulatto. Every coin, hold on, let me see. Every coin you know in America is silver, right? Silver. But Lincoln, hold on, let me show this real quick. Images of the penny, okay? The Lincoln images. Look at this. Images of the United States penny. So let me hold on. Let me share my screen for a second, y'all. Oh damn that. Okay, let me do this. Since it went to Amazon, let me share my screen. As you guys see here, this is the way they do it subliminally. They know he was half nigga. Y'all know this. Let me stop here. Hold on. Oh, not hit the wrong button. Sorry about that. Hold on, give me a second, y'all. You see, every one of these presidents, right? Oh, damn it. Share. Okay, share. You see, every one of these presidents, right? Okay, let me know when you let me go over here. Let me go with this. It took me Amazon. See, they go Lincoln. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes. No,
not
not yet.
Okay, let me know when you see it. Okay, let me know when you see it.
Okay.
It's so damn that. Y'all see it now?
Not yet.
Damn, I think going real slow.
Oh, we see it.
Okay. Now you see Lincoln right here. His is brown. You know why?
Uh-huh.
Everybody else is silver. Every other president, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, even damn, who is this? Who the hell is this right here? I don't know who the hell this even is on this. Who the hell is this? Whoever the hell this is, look like Theodore Roosevelt. I don't know who the hell this is. They ain't kidding. I don't know who the hell this is. Anyway, everybody, our coins, everybody's got coins like this. The white man, right? They knew this motherfucker was a nigga, was a mixed person. They knew. That's why he's the only one in the country. All the coins we do of everybody, he's the only one got this brown coin.
Someone is saying that the coin is his coin is the lowest value.
Exactly. He's the penny. It's the lowest value too. Exactly. It's 1 cent. Exactly right. It's 1 cent. It's 1 cent. This mulatto ass right here. It's 1 cent. Exactly. It's the lowest. It costs too much. It costs more to make it now because the economy's collapsing. You don't even want to make no penny. It costs more to make this shit than it's worth. Imagine that. It costs more to make this worthless ass penny than it's worth now today. But anyway, let me get out of that. Okay, so don't let nobody tell you about no damn stop sharing my screen. Don't let nobody tell you about some damn wait that back again. About some damn gnats up in here. Gnats flying around. So let nobody damn fucking gnats. I hate gnats. Let nobody tell you about some Lincoln freeing some damn slaves. Was that Kennedy? I couldn't tell. They made him look fat. I said, I kind of thought it was Kennedy, but I wasn't sure. I said, it looks like Kennedy, but it looks kind of fat to be Kennedy. But anyway, it's kind of fat on that coin. But anyway, they know he was half a nigga. That's why his coin is a nigga. They know it. And he was, so him as a mulatto told you, I want white people to rule. And the nigga is fucked up. He's stupid. Those are the rights of Abraham Lincoln. He wasn't your buddy. He wasn't your damn friend. But all they movies now, all they movies from then on to Abraham Lincoln loved the slaves. He's such a good. Every movie they got him talking about, oh, these slaves, I love them so much. That wasn't in none of Abraham Lincoln's writing. He said, these niggas are fucked up. I wish I could send their ass back to Africa. We ain't got the money. I wish we can keep them enslaved. But they're fighting throughout this country. So, but all their propaganda is joke. We saw their TV and their movies. They make you love Lincoln. I grew up loving Lincoln. Lincoln fought for black people. He loved us. I grew up thinking that the fact that you guys know you grew up in the fucked up education system where they got you loving Lincoln. I grew up loving. I said Lincoln just really cared for us and wanted to make sure we were free. Then you get to know the truth. Like, that's no good, dirty mulatto cracker. You're like, what? He said, I told you the white man's better than you niggas. Like, wow, wow. It's hard to understand. We grew up with lies like Katie and F. The lies that the education system that they gave us is such an indoctrination of lies. Go ahead, Katie, go ahead and finish that one.
Mm-hmm. Let's finish with the video.
And making the Civil War a war to end slavery. Following the Civil War, nearly 4 million slaves were freed and gained citizenship and the right to vote through the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. However, these new provisions were largely ignored, especially in the South during Reconstruction. Despite the leadership of educated African Americans from the North and abroad,
they would burn us alive.
Gradually wielded.
They would shoot us in the head, burn us alive, and everything else. None of that shit came to pass. You niggas, you put back in slavery by a different name, out in prison, the black codes. Hey, where you going, nigga? Walking over my friend. No, you're not. You're going to be on this plantation. You're going to work for free. Why? Because we white, and we say so. Go ahead, Kate.
Political power and economic pressure and violent anti-black activities, such as those by the Ku Klux Klan, led to the resurgence of white supremacy and racial separation in the southern states in the post-Reconstruction years. Then World War I shaped African Americans' history. During World War I, many African Americans migrated northwards due to economic depression, and thousands of black officers were commissioned to serve in labor battalions and service regiments abroad. In 1919, Marcus Garvey, a black nationalist born in Jamaica, established the Universal Negro Improvement Association in the Harlem district of New York City.
And you know what?
With several hundred thousand.
Pause it. I'm going to keep it honest, Sam, if you're in here. He had to come to America because you Jamaican niggas were cowards. He didn't want to go against that white man. You were coons. So he left Jamaica. He said, I got to leave the island, Jamaica. These niggas don't want to fight this white man in Jamaica. And y'all kicked Marcus Garvey literally out of Jamaica. You nigga get out of here. We love these white people. I know they fucked us up. So what? This mine was still going. So what? You get your ass out of here. So they ran Marcus Garvey out of Jamaica. And then, see, he didn't put that. He said he was nationalist from Jamaica. Well, he just from Jamaica. They ran his ass out of there. They said, nigga, you get your ass out of here. Talking hatred against the white man. You get your ass out of here. You know, I know it's true. I know that's true, Samuel. He said, you get your nigga ass. Talking about black people getting free. You get your nigga ass out of here. He said, because he tried it in Jamaica first. Said, you Jamaicans, get up off your ass. This white man's our enemy. We got to fight this white man. Hey, you get your ass out of here, nigga. He started singing reggae. I'm gone to America. Goodbye.
Members, it is considered the largest mass movement of African Americans in the country's history. Garvey's movement ended after he was jailed and deported to his home country. Even the Great Depression had a devastating effect on African Americans. They suffered substantial job loss.
They deported his ass back to Jamaica, and they ran his ass to England. I'm out of here again. He went over to Joe Mosquito. Maybe it's better than Joe Mosquito's home. Let me get the fuck. They ran his ass to England. I'm out of here again, niggas.
It's due to discrimination, mostly ignored by Republican administrations in the 1920s. The African American community began supporting the Democratic Party, particularly in northern cities. It helped Franklin D. Roosevelt win the 1932 presidential election by establishing New Deal reforms, which provided affordable public housing, education, and more job opportunities for African Americans. The outbreak of World War II and the subsequent industrial boom in 1939 helped end the Great Depression, and President Roosevelt's support enabled African Americans to secure better-paying jobs. This led to a significant migration of Black Americans from the rural South to the industrial cities of the North, a period known as the Great Migration.
The South, the Great Migration. Black people said, we out of this cotton. Fuck you, crackers. We gone. We out of here. So Black people start leaving North Carolina, Mississippi, Georgia, start going to Chicago, Cleveland, Detroit, Philadelphia, New York, and over to LA. We out of here. Fuck this shit. We out of this fucking you no good bastards. So it was called the Great Migration. Black people leaving from the South and moving up north for those industrial jobs that eventually they took away again and moved all that shit to China. You niggas, we moving the shit on China. You niggas, get out of here. So we was all fucked up in the north, all poor, because they say, yeah, you niggas thought you was gonna be good. We moved shit to China on you niggas.
However, this resulted in job competition and serious housing shortages, which led to race riots in many areas, with the worst occurring in Detroit in June 1943. Many African American soldiers were in service units during the war, and combat troops remained segregated.
I know about the one in what was the race riot they had in Detroit 1966, 65, was it 66, 67, they had the other Detroit riot. I ain't know about the one in Detroit in the 40s. I know about all the race riots in the 20s where they were just killing our ass. We were building our own successful community. They would come and just blow our ass up and burn us, kill us, eat us, stab us, hang us. It's crazy. Go ahead.
Nonetheless, integrated officer training was ratified, and in 1949, the armed services finally adopted a policy of full integration. Then began the civil rights movement in the 1940s and 1950s. This was a persistent and deliberate effort by African Americans to achieve equal rights through direct, nonviolent action. These actions led to various successes, including the bus boycott led by Martin Luther King Jr. in Alabama in 1955 to 56.
This destroyed our ass. This is a CIA psyop. Martin Luther King and all this shit, this destroyed. Remember, the result of this, we lost all our businesses. We went broke. We went back on the plantation. That's why we're more impoverished today, and we got no businesses because of this shit. And this was planned by the CIA. Understand, this is a fact. CIA with your fake ass league, the NAACP and the Urban League. This is all paid for by the people that were meant to destroy us as a people. That's why we're giving all this fake history here. I grew up loving Martin Luther King and life, and All that shit's a lie. All of it. Just like the South Africans are getting the Nelson Mandela shit and the Kenyans are giving the Jomo Kenyatta lie. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. You're like, wow, this is crazy. Your whole life, your parents, Martin Luther King was a great man. But what the fuck did he do? Well, he walked around and said, hey, I'm a preacher. But what did that do? You know, you're not supposed to question. Like Joe said, you guys knew growing up, you wasn't supposed to question no Martin Luther King. You shut up. Who are you to question the great Reverend Dr. King?
We grew up knowing Martin Luther King as a superior person. Like he was a good person. We were taught that. We even I told you we had cinema days in school, and that they used to bring those movies where I don't know which was this person who was a doctor, and they used to bring those movies for us. Like he was one of the biggest doctors in the US.
Propaganda. It's called propaganda. Exactly right, Cash. You can see 50 years later, it destroyed us as a people. Exactly. But you grew up your whole life. It's great. You start asking questions when you get old enough, like 18. You came to me and said, this don't make any sense. How's it ever great and we more fucked up now? What do you do that's great? You start questioning. Because you're a kid, like Katie and Joby said, you can't question. As African people globe, we're told not to question shit. Not the religion, not the Jesus. We're told just to live these lives. We're born into all these lies. And so I started questioning shit till I was like 18. I said, this story don't make no sense. How's this great and we all fucked up? And then I understood that I had to start looking. If the media is bigging it up, because I didn't know the propaganda about the media. We don't own no media and everything's a lie. I didn't know I had to learn all this. So if the media is propping somebody up, they're fucked up. They there to fuck us. Oh, that's what's going on. Then I had to completely go back and reverse engineer Dr. King wicked ass. So this motherfucker was a tool of them folks, of them bankers. That's what's going on. So this movement right here destroyed us. Like I told you last night when I went on the network, this didn't move shit, right? This the propaganda. I told you, I don't want to say too much. If you guys were there last night, you heard what I said. It was a brother. Same thing. Ain't it funny? I told Katie to show Lincoln, right? It's the same thing 100 years later with 100 years later with Martin Luther King. Black people didn't follow him. That's what they tell everybody was. No, they didn't. It was the brothers and the sisters going into white America and killing them. They were going into their house. These brothers were fed up. They were going to the house in Newark, Detroit, Chicago, LA. They were going to these white people's neighborhoods, snatching them out the bed. Time to get this work. So that's what white Americans, oh shit. They were like all scared. That's why they keep pushing the Dr. Martin Luther King. They was all peaceful, just singing songs. How you walking around a damn corner, a block singing a song, got the white man to change anything? They was, I shall overcome, sweet Jesus, Lord, we shall overcome. And the white man said, yeah, once again, I see the errors of my way. You showed me that I'm wicked and I'm going to change. You know, that's a damn lie. But that's the lie they give us. Go ahead, Katie. Go ahead.
Okay.
Sit-ins movement in Greensboro, North Carolina in 1960, and the freedom rides in Alabama and Mississippi to challenge segregation on interstate buses in 1961.
You understand?
In 1964,
it's a integration. There's no benefit in you being a ride with white people. I'm right. Your benefit is supposed to own the bus. You're supposed to have ownership. See, you're not taught the same way. You're not taught. You're supposed to own it. The wealth. You're supposed to get back the wealth. You're not supposed to be working for white people, riding on their bus and making them wealth. Because remember, when they integrate, they raise the price on you Negroes. They tell you that. You made white people more wealthy. I'm right. You're on the same bus ride. I'm riding with the white people. Yeah, great. Okay. Yeah, you're riding there.
High class.
Yeah, you riding there, but you made the white people more wealthy. So they can do, how's that a benefit for you? But that was a victory. I'm riding on the bus with these white people. Yay, we're riding. And just because you're in the front now and not in the back, The scenery outside the bus is the same shit, whether I'm in the front or I'm in the back. It's the same shit. It's the same scenery. Yeah. And the white man said, thank you, goopy nigga. You gave me more money. I'm wealthy. The power was in us owning stuff. That's what they took away. And they tell you this is a victory. This is not. See, this is a psyop. It destroyed us as a people. We lost all our businesses, the ones that they didn't burn down. This is a psyop. And so, that way I tell you, this is a victory. And this is a victory. We're more poor now. It's a victory. We're more impoverished now. This is a victory, Katie. We're more impoverished now. We're poor now. It's a victory. Go ahead, Katie. Go ahead.
The Freedom Now Party was established in Michigan, and the civil rights movement gained national attention in the spring of 1963 in Alabama. Within 15 years after the Supreme Court prescribed all-white primary elections in 1944, the number of registered black voters in the South increased more than fivefold, reaching 1.25 million in 1958. The culmination of the civil rights movement was in 1963, when King addressed a crowd of about 250,000 demonstrators gathered on the mall from the Lincoln Memorial. The march helped secure the
Now understand, this was a lie. This was a lie. Remember, I told you, because black people told they were snatching people out the bed. They were tired. They were coming to Washington to stop the country. They were coming to the nation's capital. Understand, this is another fact. They don't ever teach you none of this shit. Martin Luther King was told by the white people, hey, you got to stop this shit. Because the black people said, we're going to shut down the government. We ain't shit getting done. They're going to put their bodies in front of the planes. They were going to stop Congress. They were going to say, fuck it, we're stopping this whole goddamn country. And so they told Martin Luther King, you got to get out in front of this, boy. You got to stop these black people from fucking rioting, going crazy. He said, I don't know nothing about it. But we're going to start our own movement. That movement right there they showing. This is a fact. This is a fact. You know, I'm not making this up. They said, we're going to start our own movement. We're going to make you the head. We're going to give you a speech. They told you, he just made that speech off the top. They wrote that shit for his stupid ass. They don't tell you that. I have a dream that one day little white boys will sit with little white girls, and little white girls will sit with little black boys. All that old shit. I have a dream. All that shit they promote. As if that was spontaneous. It was all planned out because the black masses were coming to D.C. to shut down the goddamn government. So we had enough of this racism. We're tired of it. We're not going to stand for it no more. Like it's in the streets shit happening. And people being pulled out. We're tired of this shit, this lies. And so they put Martin Luther King out. And that's what they've given us for the last, it's the peaceful march. And yeah. They put that together because they knew the other black people, the militants, come there and shut down the government. That's historical fact. Why this Negro ain't saying it? This is historical fact. As Malcolm X told you, he said they put Martin Luther King in front of it. The white people that controlled his ass. He's nothing but a puppet on the string. And when they couldn't use his no ass no more, they killed his ass. Get your ass out of here. When he was a puppet on the string, when he was done with his usefulness, when he started learning, I probably fucked up being a puppet. I need to get my people reparations. They put a bullet in his head. Get out of here. Get your ass out of here. You done. We used you up. Get out of here. Popped his ass in 68 on that balcony. That's before I was even born. So that's what we're talking about. We're being controlled, as Joby said. We still being controlled by white people. You got to start building our own, have our own. That's what the thing has always stopped. That's the fear what Katie's talking about here, of us getting back power, of us having ownership. Whoever owns Africa owns the world. You understand that? Whoever runs Africa, that's where all the wealth is at. They're making sure you don't get that shit too. That's why, remember, they have African Americans fighting each other, what you see on the internet. Oh, I'm an African American. You're not a real African. You're not just, like Keisha last week. Oh, you're not from here. You and them Zungo. Those are psyops. Keep your parts and make sure you stay divided so white people can have control of you and the resource of the planet. How you fighting, bickering over dumb shit. And say, okay, who cares what you call me? We need to get this continent back and get it popping, and must have ownership. I don't give a fuck if you call me a dog. I don't call me a dog, a cat, a rat. I don't care what you do. I need to own this shit that's under our feet. You understand that? The gold, the cobalt, the diamonds, the gold, all of it. We need to control it. I don't care what you call
it. Yes, let's finish the video so that we can wind up with our show.
Act of 1964, which prohibited discrimination in voting, public accommodations, and employment.
It sounds like
The
dance so
post-civil
far.
rights era marked a turning point in African American history. In 1989, Douglas Wilder made history by becoming the first African American elected governor in the U.S.
Don't mean
3
shit.
years later,
All coons. All these bootlicking nigga coons. Same way they were the leaders in Africa. All these bootlicking coons were all anti-African. Did everything for white people. Guess, he became the first. Always the first big nigga. I'm the first big nigga of this. I'm the first big nigga of that. And all they do is represent white power. And none of these niggas that they say became the first elected this, the first black, and what they do for black people. Absolutely nothing. What Obama do for black people? Absolutely nothing. Told you niggas when they got up, I couldn't do nothing for you niggas. And I don't even like you. What Obama told your ass, I couldn't do nothing for you niggas. God damn. Thank you, Mr.
Carol Moseley Braun shattered another glass ceiling by becoming the first black woman elected to the U.S. Senate.
So
By the
what?
turn of the millennium, the number of black office holders in the United
And
States
look,
had skyrocketed to
Obama,
8,090.
and look, it's funny. And every last one of them is a coon. We're looking at every last one of these niggas, they show Colin Powell, coon, lie. This motherfucker's a war criminal, lying about people killing innocent Iraqi kids. Every last one of these niggas they showing you is a coon. Who is in charge of this video, dude? I need to find out who you are. This propaganda. Hey, look at these great leaders. Every last one was a boot-licking, handkerchief head coon. Every last one of them.
The page is called Black Culture Diary.
I'm gonna type some in there. Stop showing these coons as if they represent black people. They were there to hurt black people. That's what they did. Look at, he got John Lewis who just, all these coons. Look at, pause that. I want you guys to look at Katie's picture. You got John Lewis, a coon. Told you I'm not going to do that for you black people. It's about gay people. This nigga told you about Mexicans. This nigga right here. Told you about Mexicans and gay people. This nigga here. He was one of these civil rights niggas. I told you. You see all these civil rights niggas that marched with Martin Luther King? They're all coons today. Are the ones that are living. I all told you fuck black people and help everybody else. Every last one of them. Look at this coon ass nigga here. Look at all these coons. Every last. You can't pick me one coon out of here. Give me one Negro that's not a coon. You got Kamala Harris, this fake Negro who ain't even a Negro. This woman ain't even black. But they get to say they ain't black. This woman ain't even black. Look at this.
I
shit.
even see Kanye on the picture.
You say who?
I see Obama. Kanye West. Yeah.
Kanye West is on there somewhere. What the fuck is that coon ass nigga?
Yes, with the red cape.
Oh, these up there, top red hat. There you go. Why they got this coon nigga up there for what? This coon ass nigga who ain't never seen a white woman he didn't want to put his penis in. He ain't never seen one white woman. Hey, I need to put my penis in her. This coon ass nigga here. You got everyone up here is a coon. They got that Sheila Jackson Lee right there. Every one of these motherfuckers is a coon who sold out black people. You can't. It's a college of coons. Exactly right. This is crazy. They tell you to love every one of these motherfuckers is a bootlicking handkerchief head coon. Every last one of them. This is absolutely crazy. They don't got no freedom fighters on here from the Panthers and the people that really push just like in Africa. A Kamathi wouldn't be shown. They would show Jomo and these other bootlicking handkerchief heads, or the other same was in South Africa. They show you Nelson Mandela, these other handkerchief head niggas that fought it. This is global family. This is how they destroy us globally. These are all handkerchief head bootlicking coons. They don't got nobody black who fought for our freedom. They don't got Malcolm X up in this shit. Look at this thing. They don't even put Malcolm in this thing. Go ahead, Katie. Finish this shit.
936, an impressive increase of 7,467 since 1970. In 2001, there were 484 black mayors and 39 members of Congress.
Go back to those mayors. Go back like go just go back. Yeah, right there. Stop, pause right there. Look at this coon. This the coon nigga of New York. You guys know he's a coon. This the coon. This got to be the ugliest black woman living, alive. She just lost. She was the coon mayor of Chicago. She's the coon mayor of my hometown of LA. This coon ass woman. If you want nothing to do with black people, it's about the Mexicans and Spanish. And this coon ass nigga here of Houston, Texas. 4 goddamn coons in a row. This nigga's off the chart with his coon in this motherfucking New York. They didn't got rid of her ass and put another black coon in her place. She's already got fired. Black people. If you don't vote for me, black people, what's wrong with you? They voted your ugly ass. So they know you didn't do shit for black. You talking about LGBTQ shit, and this coon ass nigga. Look at it. He's showing all these coons. 1, 2, 3, 4 coons in a row. Coons in a row. Coons in a row. 1, 2,
There were 484 black mayors and 39 members of Congress who banded together to form the Congressional Black Caucus, a powerful political force dedicated to championing the needs and concerns of African Americans.
What?
Perhaps the most historical moment.
What kind of propaganda ass shit is this? They were formed to do the needs. You can't name shit. I was talking about the CBC. Congress that dump anybody black. They the same niggas told you took the big Ugali. You niggas out there take the big Ugali. Every last one of these niggas told you take that big Ugali. Talking about the power. What power they got? They ain't never had no power. This is straight propaganda, nigga. Who put this shit together? The CBC and their powerful base in Congress. What? Go ahead, Katie. This is crazy. I don't know what this shit.
Of all came in 2008 when Barack Obama was elected as the first black U.S. president, securing overwhelming support from African American voters.
Pause again.
This was a landmark moment.
Pause. This ain't no point. Now, since they know who he is, this nigga can't get voted dog catcher nowhere. Black people turn their backs on this phony ass nigga. They didn't know who he was because black people stupid. They go, yeah, he's gonna be a first black president just like my mom. Yeah. I said, I don't trust this nigga. He's a mulatto. I don't trust him. My mom was all, Keith, can't you give him a chance, Keith? Keith, can you give him a chance? Can you just stop? He hasn't even took office yet, Keith. Can you give him a chance? I said, I don't trust this mulatto ass nigga. I don't trust this nigga. I don't trust him. I don't trust him. And ain't funny, I was proven right. He can't get voted. And look, family, they trying to wheel this old bastard out. It don't work. They trying to bring him back out again, pop him up. People like me say, no, nigga, go away. Go away, nigga. We know you're phony. We know you're a puppet. We know you're full of shit. Go away, nigga. So him trying to say this was a great thing for black people, huh? He killed more Africans. Remember, I want you guys to understand him on the African continent. I know you stupid. Obama set up Central Com to kill African people. He hates them. These mulattoes are self-hating. The majority of them. He did more damage to Africa, and he started talking about, hey, don't you black men want to suck dick too? It's good. It's good for you. It's good to have the dick all down your throat. It's delicious. It's like, it's great. And Kenya was like, even who was like, hold on, Jack. We're not ready to hear all that. It's all in Kenya talking about. It's good to give another man's butt cheeks, ain't it? It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Because that was the agenda this nigga was hired to do by his, and understand this motherfucker's a Rothschild family from his mama's side, from his white mama's side. Go back and chase the family. This no good bootlicking handkerchief head nigga is a Rothschild. That's why he was there. He's a Trojan horse. This fraudulent ass mulatto ass nigga can't stand this nigga. And he is a Rothschild. That's a fact. He's wicked than a motherfucker. This nigga's pure evil. Go ahead, Katie.
In American history, signaling a new era of hope and progress for African Americans. This period is also notable for the new Great Migration, where millions of African Americans returned to the South, including Texas, Georgia, Florida, and North Carolina, searching for better economic opportunities.
Yeah, because, the economic base, they moved up there 70 years ago. Those jobs and technology moved to China on these niggas. Hey, you niggas, you're fired. We're moving the whole business to China. Yeah, that's what happened.
Communities in desegregated cities. At this time, Black African Americans had all the rights that the Constitution of the United States gave to whites.
What?
How tough a journey would it?
I think yes, we have
It's the last 5 minutes, Katie. Go ahead. It's the last 2 minutes, Katie. Don't stop it. We know you got to do this.
It is over. He's about to start saying subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Oh, okay. I ain't subscribing for that bullshit. Keep that shit there. That's all propaganda. That's all.
Were slaves. What do you think? Has the history of exploited African Americans been completed, or is it still incomplete? Let us know in the comment
Still
section.
exploited, moron. We're still exploited. Talk about that whole piece right there is all propaganda you did right there, dude. You had no objective thinking. That's whitewash white people shit there. Yes, and Martin Luther King and that shit was horrible. But see,
Anyway, family,
anyway, remember
thank
that
you for
Katie
being
go?
with
I
us.
took over Katie's show.
Yes, yes, time is not on our side.
Tell
But
Joey,
anyway,
tell Joey to mind her own damn business in the background. Tell you to tell
Santini
her,
Sarah
tell
for
her you
being
to
with
wrap
us.
it up. Tell her to wrap up her mouth. She said she likes to tell Joey to wrap up her mouth.
Santini Sarah for being with us on today's episode. Thank you, Cassius Williams, Jiba Jabba, Danny Harrison, General Mosquito. I saw Samuel in the building. I also saw somebody else, but Asanteni Sana to the silent listeners as well. Asanteni Sana, thank you, kid, for joining us on
Much
today's
love, fam.
episode.
Exactly
Yes,
right.
much love.
Much love, fam.
Join
We
us
out
on
here.
the Join us on the next episode of the Rhythm Scoop Show.
Rhythm Scoop
Kwaherini.
Show's coming on in a couple more minutes, family. Join them over there. Join the girls over there as they talk their shit. People say, aren't you scared? Aren't you scared? What you doing? What you Negroes doing? Telling the truth around here. Aren't you scared? So it may work. Can you ring a lot of bells? Ding.
I know. I'm trying to put music.
Exactly right. It's misinformation. They say it's a black guy. You know, see, that's how they do smart propaganda. They tell you some truth on one bill, and you go, damn, this guy telling the truth. It's a real. Then the next bit is all lies and that shit. And you won't know if you don't know nothing. You don't know that you're being now told lies again. What?
Keith, Kwaheri.
Go ahead. Ain't my fault your music ain't working. That's your fault. Shit.
There.
There you go. Barely hear it. Sing it for us, Jay. Go ahead and sing it for us. And tell
Good deal.
right. Tell
But
Joey. Tell Joey that. Shut up. What's up, family? Come back in about 20 minutes with them on the Rhythm Scoop Show.
Nadifa.